Hi folks, it's Mike Haas from Oaken Ridge Nursery and Vineyard, and today I'm going to be installing a gate in my fence. If you watched my pool project video, you saw when I brought the backhoe in, I had to take down a couple fence panels. At this point I've already replaced the fence panel that I took down and refurbished another, and I'm getting ready to put in a gate, an 8-foot gate where fence panels used to be. Okay, so I've already got the members of the frames cut out, and so what I've got to do now is cut out the laps so that the ends can overlap each other, make a nice tight joint, kind of like that, so that then we'll be able to stay nice and square. So that's what I'm getting ready to do now. I'm going to mark it to 3.5 inches and then cut it so I can break it away and make a nice area for the joint. And what I'll do is I'll get my circular saw and I'll set it to 3/4 of an inch so that it cuts to the depth that I need. So that both, when they overlap, they'll still be the 1.5 inches of the thickness of the board. Alright, so now that I've got all my cuts made, next thing is to take the chisel and chop them out. They're just going to be real easy, it'll work real quick, and get it nice and smooth. Okay, and there's that. So I just got to do that to the other end of this board and the other 3 boards, and then we'll go ahead and assemble the frame. Okay, so now I've got the lap cuts made on all 4 parts of my frame, so now I'll just go ahead and screw it together. What I'm going to use is a 1.25 inch deck screw, because I think they'll have better holding power, and they're generally last a little bit better in this treated lumber. So just going to assemble all 4 members. Just lay them in place loosely, and then I'll make sure they're nice and square before I screw them together, and then we'll go from there. Okay, now that I've got the frame members connected, the next thing is to put on the cross braces to get them and measure them correctly. What I'll do is I've got the each member cut just a little bit long, so I can put it underneath of the frame and get it situated exactly where I want it to be. Then I can mark it and cut it, and it'll be accurate. I won't have any gaps. Okay, now that that's cut, and fits in nice and snugly. We'll take the other cross member and we'll put it across so that I can measure and mark where I need to cut to get the overlap in there correctly, because otherwise it'll be sitting up on top like that. So, and that's going to be a close. I have to cut it the same way that I cut the overlap on the ends. Just cut it down half the distance, or half the thickness. So. I'll do the bottom one first, and then I'll do the top one. Okay, I've got my cross members in. So now I'm just going to screw them together in the middle, and then I'm going to use 5-inch screws on each side to anchor them to the brace, to the frame. Okay, got it pretty well level. Just about placed where I want it to. Hopefully Callie won't knock it over. And now I got to go ahead and get the hinges placed. And I'll put them on the solid post first, and then attach them to the gate panel. Okay, I'm using a decorative gate hinge, so I'll go ahead and get that marked out. Drill pilot holes for it and get it attached. Same thing for the bottom hinge, and we'll get it going. Okay, so there it is with the hinges on it. Once I get the other panel hung, I'll put all the pickets on and get it completely done. But I'm gonna wait until I get them done. That way I can make sure everything matches up and looks good. So, but there's your gate. And I just need to do the rest, same thing with the other side. Okay, so now I've got both sides of the gate installed. Next thing to do is just go ahead and install the pickets all the way across, and then put on the hardware, and then I'm done. I've been trying to keep all the spaces pretty much the same, right around a half an inch. They're a little bit off here and there, but it's a little rustic looking fence, so that's not going to make too much of a difference. When I get to this last one, I want to make sure that it's flush against this side for when I put the hardware on. I want to make sure that, you know, that it's going to make a nice clean line down the middle. Okay, now when I start on this next panel, if you look, it's a little bit of an angle, but it's not really that bad. I knew that was going to happen when I put it together because the posts are at 1/4 of an inch off, and that's about where my panels are. So what I'm going to do is put the next picket here and work there and close the gap up so that I can kind of adjust this gap so that it looks even throughout the whole thing. I've also got the string line up here from one side to the other because one is it does kind of slope, and I want to make sure that my pickets don't have a big gap between the heights of them, so they gently climb that slope. So I'm going to work from this side all the way over to the end. Gotta move. And there you go. That's the finished product. Last thing is going to be dig out the base here where it swings so that it has a nice even space to swing. It's not hitting dirt. And to put the hardware on, you know, so that I have a handle and the latch and a peg on the inside to keep it from going in too far, or keep it from moving when I don't want to drill. And that's it. We're all done.